Today we're going to talk about containers versus pods. I think that's an important concept when it comes to the world of Kubernetes, because those two things, they're very tightly integrated. You kind of don't have one without the other. So the pod, let's use orange. Orange is my favorite color. We're going to start with that. The pod, let's think of it like a box. We're going to use a box in this example. It's going to be the smallest structure, the smallest object in the Kubernetes environment, but it can hold things within it. So just like how an atom can have different weights on the periodic table, they'll have different numbers of electrons and the protons, and there's different masses there. The quantities of those individual components are going to vary. That same kind of concept is going to carry over to a pod. Within the pod, you can have one container, you can have many containers. You're not going to have 0 containers. Each container can have its own image. So in this example here, we're just going to call this test pod. And we're going to have, let's have a container here that, let's call this BusyBox. BusyBox is an image that is helpful for some types of troubleshooting, things like that. And let's have another one that, let's just say Nginx, because we were talking about that at work yesterday. So you've got these two different containers within this pod. These are two independent images within this pod. And you can have multiple instances of this pod. So we could call this test pod 1. And then if whatever we're doing with these containers in this pod, whatever function this covers in our environment, let's say the load has increased, maybe we need more. So we can scale up this pod. So now we have test pod 2, and it is going to have another BusyBox and another Nginx. If we're creating new instances of a pod, so if we started with 1 and decided, oh, that's not enough, we need more, we need 2, we need 5, we need 10 replicas of that pod. If we're doing that based on the same, let's say on the same deployment, and we'll talk about deployments in another video, they're essentially going to be clones of each other. Now they'll have their own individual IP addresses, but they'll have the same configuration as far as the amount of memory that they're requesting, the amount of CPU that they're requesting. The images will be identical. They're more or less twins that can each do their own workload. And you can spin as many of these up as your resources will allow. You can scale it back down, kill off those pods, and move it up and down. So the containers are just those pieces within the pods. That's where the image is actually running. And the pod is just that piece that contains the container, I guess you could say. I don't know if that helps clarify that or if that just makes it more confusing. If it makes it more confusing, please let me know in the comments. I'll try to come up with a better way to describe that. And if my penmanship is terrible, I'd apologize, but I'm not going to. It is what it is. So if that's helpful, maybe like or don't like, whatever floats your boat. Not going to hurt my feelings. But if you want to learn more about beginning Kubernetes concepts, please subscribe. Not just beginning concepts. Hopefully we'll, as we move down the line, we'll get into more advanced stuff as well. I'm not going to stop at the CKA. There are a couple of other certifications that are available that I plan on working on after this one. So I'm going to follow that same routine that I'm trying to do for this one. So there will be more stuff beyond this. So if you do subscribe, we'll see you next time. And if not, good day to you.